Welcome everyone to a brief overview and introduction of SingularityComputers fittings. I thought it was a perfect opportunity because I have 3 builds here that we've just finished today. All Spectre 4 Avon builds with different amounts of add-ons, different customizations, and also different specs. I mean, they're all 9950 X3D and 5090, but you know, there is some variety between the 3. As you can see, this one has UV printing. It has the front and top distribution plate, the side distro. This one doesn't have the side distro, it just has the front distro. It doesn't have the top. This one has all the distros, front, top, side, PSU top shroud, rear I/O. And by the way, the reason the screens are like that is because I don't have monitors plugged into 2 of these systems, so the screen on the side turns to the primary display. This one does have a monitor plugged in, so it's all good. So, as you all will know, if you've been watching me for a while, I have been a big fan of BitsPower fittings for a long time. Now, I'm sure some of you have wondered why I have continued using BitsPower fittings and not used something else like EK fittings. There are 2 main reasons. One is BitsPower's range is insane. It is huge. And the types of fittings that they have are fittings that are extremely useful and that I need for the systems that I build. I build a big variety of different kinds of systems. Like these days, it is a lot of Spectres, of course, but SFF builds. We have a E1 over here, which also has SingularityComputers fittings. We have a Threadripper workstation over here. A whole lot more builds going on over there and elsewhere. And so, you know, they have this huge range and also very specific fittings that are really useful. Like, you know, they're 90-degree dual rotary, they're telescopic. But the other thing about them that I really like is how compact they are. Big bulky fittings are extremely difficult to use, and they're actually unusable in a lot of situations. They look nice in the pictures, but when it comes to building the system, you are going to have a lot of difficulty with bulky fittings. And you know, this is something I do a lot of the customer support, and a lot of the problems that I see are just because of bulky fittings and customers asking like, how do I tube this up? And you know, really with the fittings that they're using, it's just not possible. The fittings are just too big and just too difficult to use. It's making a huge challenge for yourself. So when it came to designing our fittings, there were, you know, a list of fittings that are the most useful fittings that I wanted to focus on first. We are going to be expanding our range a lot. Like currently we only have 16mm hardline compressions. We're also doing 12, 14. At the moment we don't have a T fitting. We're still working on a drain fitting, but we certainly have the main fittings that you need to build a system. And you know, aside from the very important fittings that you need, we also made our fittings compact so that they fit into tight situations. They can be used anywhere, which I think is very important. And for now, we've just gone for a matte black finish. We also offer Cerakoting in various colors. We're also adding more options to the Cerakoting, but we're also thinking about doing more colors in the future. But in my opinion, fittings are something that just kind of need to blend, and we wanted the aesthetics to be subtle, but something that looks modern and matches the aesthetics of our products and our builds. So you can see that these builds are quite fittings heavy, and one of the big reasons we use a lot of fittings is because these builds need to travel a long way. Like all of these builds are going to the other side of the world, and it's a lot stronger if you use a lot of fittings. And particularly, like the GPU is the weakest point in any build, and so when it's connected to a big thick distribution plate here with fittings, all solid metal, it makes it very strong. So that's one reason. It's also very clean. I kind of have a rule, I don't like doing more than 2 bends per tube, and it's not because I can't, it's just because it starts to look messy. And you kind of have these tubes with too many bends flopping around. I like to put the tubes back against the components as much as possible, reduce the amount of tube, make the build look clean, and that's where using a lot of fittings can certainly help with that. So I'm going to be doing a lot more videos on our fittings, a lot more detail, how to use fittings, where to use particular fittings. Like, one really cool trick with fittings, if you have two ports that don't align, the 90-degree dual rotary is just absolutely ideal for this. You can see this one here. So the 90-degree dual rotary can also be used as an offset. It's really meant to be used as a 90-degree fitting, but the cool thing about it is you can actually achieve an offset which you can then rotate 360 degrees, and then you can also change the angle from 90 degrees all the way through to straight. So that is really the most useful fitting, the 90-degree dual rotary. Certainly not one that I can live without. So far in the range, we have the 90-degree single rotary, dual rotary, 16mm hardline compression, telescopic fitting, various extension fittings. So yeah, really everything that is needed. And we're going to be coming out with fittings packages for our different cases, and also for different configurations. Like you can see on these three, I mentioned the amount of add-ons, distribution plates that they have. So we'll have one package for, you know, if you just have the front distribution plate. We'll have another package if you have like all the distribution plates. And also, if you have any questions, like if you're purchasing fittings and you don't know what to purchase, because I think fittings are the most difficult thing to purchase for a water-cooled system. You know, you can just grab radiators, fans, water blocks, that's all pretty easy. But when it comes to purchasing fittings, you really have no idea where to even start, because there's so much variety. There's so many different ones that you need. So anyone who's purchasing our fittings, feel free to contact us and we can help out with which fittings you need. And as I said, we're going to be coming out with packages for all of our products as well. Generally, you know, what I have had to do in the past, I mean, due to my experience, I usually know which fittings I need for a specific build. But we also have a lot in stock, so we're kind of cheating because we can just grab whatever we need and don't really have to think about it that much. But you always have to buy more than you need with fittings, and that's the problem. You never know exactly what you're going to do, and you can even see between these three builds the variety in the tube, even though it's the same case. Yes, they have different add-ons, but you can see that we have tubed up with significant differences between the three builds. Like this one here is dual loop and has the dual loop side panel, but this one does too, but you can see that the loops are quite different. I mean, this one has a memory water block, but yeah, you can see that by just adding one component, it really changes things up a lot. So that's what makes choosing fittings so difficult, and that's something that we'd like to help out with our fittings, which is why we're going to be providing support for them, and as I said, coming out with the fittings packages. And I would certainly like to do a lot more videos on our fittings.